to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Allison, and today I wanted to do a simple, soft glam kind of look. I'm actually using a palette today that I haven't used in a while, the Naked 2 palette by Urban Decay. So that's going to be in our video today. I'm going to show a few items that I haven't used in any of my other videos yet either. If you want to see how I got this soft glam kind of look, keep on watching. I'll see you guys soon, and don't forget to subscribe. Okay guys, so we're going to start with primer first. I'm going to use my Real Techniques flat concealer brush, and then I'm going to take the Cover FX Blemish Primer, and I'm just going to put some of that on the back of my hand, and then take my brush, and then distribute that on my acne, whatever spots you may have. I use the brush because it helps me get an even, thin layer. You don't want the layer to be too thick, or it could come up whenever you decide to put on your foundation. So yeah, I'm just distributing that all over my face, wherever I have any problem areas, problem spots. Working that on my nose. My skin hasn't been liking me too much these past few days, so this primer really helps. It can be used as a spot treatment as well, which I like. I used it last night, right before I went to bed. So next, I'm going to grab my Benefit Porefessional. It's my ride or die go-to primer of all time. Really helps with my pores. So, sorry, my cats were, they were messing with my dress. So I'm putting some of this on the back of my hand, and I'm going to take that same brush, and I'm going to put it in my problem areas where I have the largest pores. Mainly this is in my T-zone, on my cheeks, so I'm just going to brush that into my pores so it sets right into my pores. And a little does go a very long way, so you don't have to go crazy with the amount. Just a thin layer where my biggest pores are. You can see my cats in the background. Okay, so I'm almost done applying this primer, and then once I'm done, I'm just gonna take my last primer, which is totally not necessary. It's just something I like to do. I like to spritz my face and just have that extra dewiness, if you must. It's a Smashbox water primer. Gonna spritz that all over the face. Sometimes I gotta go a little crazy with it. So it just needs to dry, so I'm just fanning that. And then while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm gonna take some Carmex Healing Lip Balm. I'm just going to put that on my lips so that it helps get them moisturized and hydrated for when I do apply my lip gloss or liquid lipstick later. Just fanning myself, checking on the cats, make sure they're not breaking anything. So you really want this to dry because you don't want anything to slide. So that's why I keep fanning my face. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow foundation, and it's in the shade 202. Just going to shake that up real quick. Make sure it's going to be all nice and mixed together. Gonna put some on the back of my hand, and then I'm just going to dot that onto my face. There's no rhyme or reason for me why I do this. It's just something that I do and that I've always done. I'm just going to dot that all over my face. And do not forget about your neck. So I'm going to dab some on my neck as well. And then I'm going to take my damp Real Techniques beauty sponge, and I'm just going to blend that into my skin. I really do love using this sponge. It makes my skin and my foundation just seem so flawless. And it blends right in. Like, I feel like it blends it into my skin. It's not just a layer. So I'm going to do half of my face so you guys can see, hopefully, in the camera, the difference in coverage from the done side to the not. My redness is almost completely covered. So I'm just going to continue to blend, and dab. And I'm not doing any swiping motions. I'm just dabbing into my skin. Trying to get into all the nooks and crannies of my nose. And sometimes I do go behind my ear just a little, but I do go onto my ear sometimes as well. But today, because I'm wearing earrings, which I should have taken off, I didn't go fully onto my ear. But this foundation is almost completely the same color as my skin tone, so I wasn't too worried. So I'm going to go down on my neck, make sure that's all blended and seamless. Then I'm going to take my Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation stick in the shade 120, just for a little bit fuller coverage. And it's a tad darker than the foundation that I just put on. So this just gives me a little bit more coverage and just a little bit more color, so I don't look so pale and bland and blah. So I'm just working that into my skin just like I did for the Infallible Pro Glow. Now, you do not have to use a second foundation. You could have just added another layer of the Pro Glow if you wanted to. If you wanted to build a coverage, it is totally buildable. I just wanted to use my Makeup Forever foundation stick. It's my favorite, but I'm almost out. That's why I wasn't using that entirely all over my face instead of using the Pro Glow. Just making sure it's blended into my hairline so it doesn't look weird. You can never overblend. So I just try to dab. So next I'm going to go in with concealer. I'm going to take my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Custard. It's my all-time favorite. I actually do need to buy another one. This was like scraping the end of the barrel when I was doing this tutorial today. So I'm just working that into my under eye. I do try to do somewhat of a triangle, and I do sweep it a little bit past my eye, as you can see. No rhyme or reason, it's just something that I've seen people do, and it does work really well for me. I'm gonna do that in the creases of my nose where I have the most redness, my Cupid's bow, my chin. Then I'm gonna work my way to my forehead, and then down the center of my nose. Just going a little bit crazy, I guess, today. And then just to go a little bit lighter than the custard, I'm going to take the LA Girl Pro Conceal High Definition Concealer in the shade Porcelain. Just adds a little bit of lightness to give my under eye some life and brightness. So I'm going to go over all the places that I went with the Custard NARS concealer. Going a little bit crazy with this one too today. And then I'm going to take that same sponge, Real Technique sponge, that I used to blend out my foundation. And I'm going to spritz it with that Smashbox primer water. Don't ask me why, it just works for me. I think it has something to do with the dewiness And then I'm just going to go ahead and blend my under eye concealer. And I am going to work that on top of my eyelid. That can work as an eyelid primer, or eyeshadow primer, I should say. So I'm just going to continue to work that in. Go to each area that has the concealer. And I really make sure that it's real pressed in. And I go back and forth, not in the same direction. Just go left, right, right, left. And then I do tend to look up as well, so it helps with my creasing. As you can see, I keep looking up, that's why. I want to fill in the lines that I create when I look down, so when I look up, I fill those in so that I don't have them crazy under eye lines. So then with the other, when I went to do my other under eye, I did spritz the sponge again with more primer water. And I'm doing the same thing over again. Doing the forehead. Just making sure that's all blended out. Sometimes I do the side of my mouth because I do tend to get smile lines. So I'm just going to continue to work that into the skin. Then I'm going to take a break from the concealer and I'm going to take my Benefit Goof Proof brow pencil in number 3. And it does come with 2 ends. One end is a spoolie and the other end is the actual product. Sorry, my nose was itching, so I had to itch it, and I decided to itch with my beauty blender, or my beauty sponge. So first I'm just going to take this spoolie, and it does tend to get some product on it, so actually when I'm brushing out my eyebrow hairs, it's actually putting product into my eyebrow already. So I'm just going to brush those through. And my eyebrows are not the best. They are a little thin on the ends. I'm not crazy about my eyebrows, but what am I going to do? So then I'm going to take the actual product and just fill in my brows where I feel like they look a little bit sparse and thin. I don't do this like the pros. I just fill it in and go with the natural curve of my eyebrow. Could be wrong, but I've been doing it like this for a while, and it's just the way I do it. That light exposure just got crazy right there. I can be a little meticulous with my eyebrows, but sometimes I don't even fill in my eyebrows. It's just on days where I feel like filling them in. So I do tend to put down product and then use the spoolie. If you do have this product and you feel like you put too much in one area, that spoolie will really help you disperse and evenly distribute out that product. So you'll see I'll put some in and then I'll brush it right away, just to evenly distribute that product in the brow. And this tail was giving me a real hard time. That's why I took a little bit extra time on this brow. Good enough. So now that my concealer has had some time to dry, I'm going to take the RCMA No Color Powder. I actually took it out of the original packaging and I put it in this dollar storage container that I bought at the drugstore. So much easier and so much more convenient. So I just took that damp beauty sponge that I use for my foundation and my concealer, and I just dipped that directly into that powder. And I'm just going to set my under eye and my eyelids and everywhere else that I did put that concealer. So definitely into the under eye and the eyelids, and then I'm going to work it onto the chin, the nose, and the forehead, which I should do in just a second. There goes the chin. creases of my nose, kind of in my smile lines as well. And then the forehead. And I do work that down onto my nose just a tad. This just sets your makeup from creasing. It helps with creasing. This RCMA powder is the absolute best. I bought it because of Jaclyn Hill, and I'm never going to stop using this powder. It is the best, and I'm so glad I listened to her recommendation. So I'm just putting that away so that if my cats decide to jump, they do not get that powder everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to take my Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. And this is in Minor Sin. Just has like a nice sheen glow to it. Not too crazy, but it does prime my eyelids and it does give my eyelid a nice little shimmer. Just very, very faint. I'm just going to work that in with my ring finger just to warm up the product and distribute it everywhere all over the lid. And then I'm going to take some more and do the same for that other eye. You can already see it. It's just so pretty. I wish they had this as like an actual shadow. That'd be nice. I just find that my ring finger works a lot better than brushes. I feel like the brush, any type of brush for my eye, when I use this primer, I feel like it just takes up that product. So I'd rather just use my finger and rub it in myself. Okay, so now I'm going to take that Naked 2 palette, which I have not used in, oh my goodness, I can't tell you how long, and I don't know why I stopped using it. So I'm just taking a fluffy brush from Sephora. You can use any fluffy crease brush. It doesn't have to be anything special or specific. I'm going to dip into this color called Foxy. It's a nice, light, soft yellow. And it's just to set that primer that I just put on by Urban Decay. So I'm just going to dust this all over the lid just to give me a nice, clean, neutral eyelid so that when I do put other colors on, they just blend seamlessly. So I'm just going to work that in. You honestly could use probably any brush to get this light color on your lid. I just picked up the first brush that I saw. And see, there's no special way I'm doing this. I'm just throwing this on and blending it in. Make sure that it's actually blended into my skin on my eyelid. I just want a nice base for the product that I'm going to use next, or the shade that I'm going to use next. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just making sure that I had all the skin covered. Okay, so now that I have that color on, I think I'm looking for another brush. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the color Tease. It's just a nice mauve, faintly grayish purple color, and I'm just going to work that into my crease and my outer corner. So I'm just buffing that in the outer corner and then doing a windshield wiper motion in my crease. And I'm not taking that all the way to the corner, I'm just taking it slightly almost to the inner corner. Going back in for some more. And I'm just going to continue working that into the crease until it's at the desired shade of this color that I want. And I'm going to continue on the other eye. Make sure I'm tapping off the excess. And I'm just going to do windshield wiper back and forth motions. And blending is key when you're trying to do these kind of eye looks. You can never over blend. Blending is your friend. I just went back to the other eye. Felt like the eye that I just finished was a little bit too dark or a little bit darker than the other, so I just keep going back and forth, making sure that they're even. There I go, going back and forth. Taking more of that same color, working that into my corner, and blending it out. Corner and then blending it out. And I don't take this color too high. It's strictly in my crease and maybe a tad bit higher than my crease, but I don't take it up high. Now with a flat brush, I'm going to take the color Verve, V-E-R-V-E. It's just a light silver, but not crazy silver, and I'm just going to pack that onto my lid. Not the entire lid, maybe like 3/4 of the lid. I'm going to take it to where I buffed in that previous color, the tease. Going to take it right to the point where I started buffing that out. So I'm going to do it to the other lid. Just taking the brush that actually came with this palette. I'm just using the flat end, the flat brush on the end. And I'm just packing and working this light shimmery silver onto my lid. Now I'm going to take the color YDK. Not sure what that stands for, but it's a nice silvery shine, like a metallic purple, I would say. It's not shiny, it's just metallic, and it's a nice, not deep, but a little bit darker than that tease color. It's very metallic, which I love. So I'm going to go right over where I put that tease color, the first color that I applied. I'm just going to go same place, right over it. So outer corner, working that in, buffing that in, and then in my crease. My ear kept itching. I have no idea why. Maybe these earrings. So the other eye, I'm going to take that YDK color, and again, just going over the tease color. So crease and buffing out that outer corner. Just making sure they look even. Looks like I'm deepening up that YDK. And if you want to, you can take more of that tease if you want. Take it on a different brush or on the brush that you originally used, which it looks like I'm doing right now. And I'm just going over everything that I did, just so it's blended seamlessly. So like I said, blending is your friend. I do a lot of blending in this look. Still on that crease. Again, making sure that it's even. And I'm taking more of that Verve color. I think I felt like when I was blending in more of the tease and the YDK that I lost some of the color of that Verve. I don't know why I keep wanting to say verb, but it's Verve. V-E-R-V-E. Oh my goodness. I just wanted to lighten it up, and I just felt like the other two colors kind of took away from what I originally had on. So now I don't want any harsh lines, so I just took a brush, a clean brush, and just buffed out any harsh lines between the Verve and the tease. So now I'm going to take the brush that was included with the palette, the fluffy side, and I'm going to very, very, very lightly dab it into that blackout color Obviously it's black. So very, very, very little of this color. You can see I dabbed it on each corner of the eye. And then I just blended. I didn't want any harsh lines. I didn't want it looking crazy. So I'm going to be blending for a few just to make sure it looks seamless. And again, I'm just using the brush that came with this palette. So I'm just buffing it into that corner and then taking it up just a tad. My ear was itching again. So now I'm going to take the color, or the shade Booty Call. Just going to find a clean brush. Any brush will do. I'm just going to work that into my inner corner just to give it a nice pop and highlight in there. Very intense. You can go as light or as crazy as you want with this shade. So I'm working that into my other inner corner, and I'm actually going to take it to my brow. Right under my brow, it's going to be my brow highlight for today. As you can see, going in right there. Just gives it a nice pop. Again, you do not have to do this. I just love the shimmer. I'm addicted to highlighters. So again, just working this into my brow bone on the other eye. Trying to give you guys a little close up. And then I'm packing more of that Verve on. I just really wanted it to be shimmery and metallic-y. And this Verve color is beautiful. As you can see. Just packing more of that on. Take more of that tease color and just brush out any harsh lines again. Same on the other eye. Again, I'm just making sure that they're even. That's why I keep looking. I'm looking at a mirror, then looking at the camera, looking back at the mirror, back at the camera. That damn ear, itching again. So I'm going to stop with the eyes just for a brief second, and I'm going to take this Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Love this stuff. It smells like Hawaii, which is funny now that I'm here, living here. It's just so tropical, and it just smells like a dream. So I'm just taking a Real Techniques brush, and I'm just putting some in my, on my temples and forehead, working that in slightly. And on my cheeks, you can see that I put just a tad right outside of my ear, and then I'm going to take a different Real Techniques brush, and I'm just going to blend that in. So I'm just going to work that in. It's kind of just bronzing up the skin. I'm not really doing the whole contour. The shade is cool enough and light enough, like a cool tone bronzer, not like where you could contour with. I'm just not into contouring at this moment. I just like to bronze up my skin, so I'm just making sure that it's even and that it's blended out. I do like to somewhat sculpt my cheekbones Just taking more, and I'm going to go to my jawline and just buff that into my jaw and my neck. And I love these Real Techniques brushes. I mean, there's no need to go out and spend crazy amount of money on brushes. These brushes work amazingly. I'm just working that into my temples, making sure it's all bronzed and nice the way I want it. Then I'm going to take my Milani Luminoso blush, and right now I'm looking for my e.l.f. Kabuki brush, which I'm about to grab. There it is. So I'm just going to swirl this Kabuki brush into the Luminoso, tap off the excess. I don't like a crazy amount of blush. Gonna just literally buff this into the bronzer that I just put on, just so it blends and looks like it's all natural and it's all one thing. You don't want it to look separate. You don't want it to look like layers. You want it to look seamless. So now I'm going to take my Maybelline gel eyeliner. I was thinking about doing a stencil, but then I was like, not really feeling it. I was looking how I looked, and I looked crazy. So I just decided to take a Sigma eyeliner brush and just dip right into my gel eyeliner in black. And I'm going to do my eyeliner on camera, which I have not done before. Just going for a thin line. I'm not crazy good at wings, so I really don't tend to do them. So right now I'm just making sure that my brush is ready to go. I'm just going to take my handheld mirror so I can see what I'm doing, but so you guys can see what I'm doing as well. So the brush that I'm using is an angled eyeliner brush, which I love. The more angle it has, the easier it is for me to use. I'm just going to take this gel liner and get it as close as I can to the lash line as I can. My eyes do tend, or my eyelids, I should say, do tend to shake. Not sure why. I mean, it might be common. I have no idea. So I try to do it while my eyes are open, but then I feel like I have to line them while they're shut. But I'm just trying to get as close as to the lash line as I possibly can. So I'm just going to continue to work that into the lash line, trying to get a straight, even line. Like I said, I'm not the best at eyeliner. I've tried many, and this by far is my favorite. I do have some velvet tip, and I mean, they're okay, but they don't seem user-friendly to me. So I'm just dipping my brush back into the gel eyeliner, and I'm gonna try to attempt to do my left eye. This is the eye that gives me the most issues. It shakes and it shakes and it shakes and it shakes, and it gives me the hardest time. Don't know if you can see it, but my eye is shaking. Crazy. So I'm trying to get adjusted so that you guys can see what I'm doing, and so I can see what I'm doing, and trying to do it with my right hand. So I'm trying to do it while my eyes are open because my eye doesn't shake as much. But I prefer to do it while they're closed. So I go between, as you can see my eyes closed now. I go back and forth between eye open, eye closed. You can see it shake. You can see my eyelashes shake so bad. Oh, goodness. Not sure what can help me with that. I guess I just need to practice more. But my eye is going crazy. So I'm just trying to work this into the lash line on this eye as well. Sorry you guys don't have that good of an angle, but this eye gives me so many issues. I just wanted it to look decent. And I'll list the exact number of this brush down below. All I do know off the top of my head is that it is a Sigma angled eyeliner brush. I'm just going over what I had done just to make sure it's even and straight. Just checking on the other eye. It looks good. I didn't die. Nothing bad happened. Didn't stab myself in the eye. So this is a good day. So I'm going to take more of this gel eyeliner and I'm going to work it onto my lower lash line, my waterline. This is actually the first time that I'm using this gel eyeliner on my waterline or lower lash line. But hey, I'm up for trying new things, so we're going to try it out today. And you know what? Worked out so far. And I love how black this eyeliner is. It's not a faded black or a gray. It's a black, which I love. Gives more intensity. I just love black eyeliner. So I'm just going to continue to work that into my waterline, lower lash line. With that same brush. I don't know if I should have used a different brush, but this brush worked for me. It's still that Sigma brush. Looking like a crazy person. So now I'm going to take my Benefit Roller Lash Mascara, which is my absolute favorite mascara on planet Earth right now. It's the only mascara I've been using for probably like the past 6 months. So obviously I'm just going to coat my lashes. And part of this Glam, I am not going to be doing falsies, so I'm going to just rely on this one product by Benefit, which there's no issue because it curls my lashes amazingly. So I'm just going to work that into my lashes. And you don't have to coat your lashes and keep brushing them as much as I do. It's just a habit of mine. I don't even go in for more product. I just keep brushing through my lashes. Oh, I had a little something on the wand, so I had to take that off real quick. And I did dip it right back into the container, the bottle, I'm not sure what to call it. But I did dip it back in to recoat my wand, and now I'm doing my other lashes. And again, no special trick, I'm just pushing up while I coat my lashes with this wand. And this is the only product that I will have on my lashes today. I kept trying to get a good angle so you guys could see. I'm just pushing them up with that wand. And then I work on my ends by pulling them out just a little with that wand. Again, you do not have to brush your lashes as much as I do. Okay, the deed is done, and we're going to move on forward. Gonna dip right back into that Naked 2 palette, and I'm going to work on my lower lash line. Gonna go back in with Teased and just smoke the lower lash line out. I'm going to just work it into that lower lash line. And again, I'm using the brush that came with the palette. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this color Tease, and I'm just gonna work it into that lower lash line. I'm not going to take it all the way into the inner corner because I do have the inner corner highlight going on. So I'm just working that into the lower lash line. I'm going to do that on both sides, obviously. can see my kitty. So I'm just going to continue to work that in, just make it look seamless. And actually, while I was working this in, it kind of did smudge my eyeliner, and I kind of liked that look. So I just kept going with it and just kept working that color into that lower lash line. And I'm going to take that same mascara, the Benefit Roller Lash, and I'm going to coat my lower lashes. Do both eyes. And I heard some people use specific mascara for their lower lashes. I just think that's a little excessive. So I just continue to use this roller lash, and it really works for me. So we're going to move on and grab the next product. We're going to take our highlight, which is, of course, Champagne Pop by Jaclyn Hill and Becca Cosmetics. Going to take this on a Real Techniques brush. This is actually the setting brush, but I use that to apply my wonderful highlight. This is the only highlight that I own at the moment, and I don't think there's any need to have any other highlight. This is my absolute favorite. It always delivers, and it works magically with my skin tone. So I'm just working that in on the highest points of my face. So the top of my cheekbone, bridge of my nose, the tip of my nose, Cupid's bow, chin, and sometimes I do blend that into my forehead. Not necessary, just something I do, and I'm just making sure it's blended in with that bronzer and blush that I applied earlier. Okay, so I just have to step up real quick and grab my NARS Stripped Velvet Lip Glide. That's what it's called. It's like a liquid lipstick. It's a nude color. It's my absolute favorite. I actually just got this a couple months ago. I've only used it a few times, but again, it's called Stripped by NARS. And I'm just working that onto my lips. And it is very velvety, so I do agree with that in the name. I believe that's what it is called. So I'm just working that onto my lips, making sure it's even, looks nice. Try to get a little bit closer to the camera so you guys can see the actual color. And on a regular day, I usually don't wear anything on my lips except for chapstick. So today's a special day. So to set my face, I'm going back in with that primer water by Smashbox and just spritzing that all over my face. And that, ladies and gents, is the look for today. I hope you guys enjoy and you really liked watching this. If you guys have any questions, comment down below, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye!